Today, I'm headed to the Spire Pool with Olympian and fellow ambassador Elizabeth Beisel to answer one question. What do a swim start and a track start have in common?
I love this, you're such a good student. Okay, so a start is probably the most underworked aspect of a swimmer because we are literally always thinking about what we're doing in the pool and we never think enough about what we do on the block. So the fin is a relatively new addition to the actual block. It used to just be flat, like this, which obviously you know isn't as fast. I have my setting at a 2. How tall are you? 5'5". 5'5.5". So I would say you're at a 2. You could even be at a 1 because you're a lot more powerful than I am. So you, like Caleb puts his on a 1. And he's 6'2" or 3. So way taller than I am. I don't have that power, so I go back to a 2. And for the start itself, you're gonna be on the block and your strong foot, for me, which is my left foot, is in front, and I'm putting that back foot almost at the top, so high. Is that higher than track? Yeah. And so you're gonna be grabbing, you want your thumbs under here. So you don't want your thumbs on top, you want them under, so you're gripping like this, because this is gonna be a lot faster than this. And the idea is that when you're in your start, you want to stand up and then go straight down. Because what a lot of swimmers tend to do is lean back like this, just to go forward. So in track, this is like one thing that you guys do really well. You're almost like leaning into the start. Yeah. And I don't know for what reason, maybe it's because we're high, but swimmers always lean back like this, just to go forward. And so what I tell people when I'm working with them on starts is stand up straight, go straight down, and then put your back foot back. And your back foot is high. And you want thumbs again right here, and you want to be leaning forward so that, and a lot of people do this with their elbows, don't do that, I think you know this. But have them tucked back so that when you do take your mark, the first thing that you're gonna do is throw your arms back. You're almost like, yeah, like you're like gripping the block, throwing it behind you, and at that same time that you're throwing your arms back, you start to release and push from that back foot. And then the last thing that leaves, like just in track, is your front foot. And the idea is that you do not pick your head up on the start, just like track. Like, if the first thing you're doing out of the gates is this, you're dropping your chest, you're gonna belly flop, like that's horrible. So what we try to do is try to imagine that there's a tennis ball right here, and you just go, and you do not pick up your head. And you want to try to get into, it's almost like diving through a hula hoop. And you want to start with your hands and end with your feet, and the best start is when there's no splash. Like that's when you know that you've had the cleanest entry. A lot of people tend to separate hands sometimes when they hit the water because they're not in a strong streamline, and that like the force of the water literally does this to your hands. So when you enter the water, you want to be holding your streamline with your thumb underneath your bottom hand, or like wrapping around your bottom hand. She's a pro, she's so good.
I haven't done anything.
Okay, wait. But she knows what a streamline is, and that's so important. Okay, and so you can do a streamline, right? Like this, like behind the ears. Perfect. That is literally where you want to be.
On the land.
I think you're so good though. That's where you want to be. So you want to be, like, you're going to be so good at this because you're powered, right? Like, this is what a swimmer lacks for the most part. Like a swimmer like me, 400 IM, or I'm middle distance to distance. So my start, while it's fast, like it has a good reaction time, I'm not diving as far as Caleb dives because I don't have that power. You have that power and the reaction time. So in track, do you guys have reaction time?
Yeah, we do.
What's your reaction time?
Anywhere between 0.14 and 0.18 when I'm on it.
What?
What's yours?
0.6. Okay,
yeah,
so I can go for a 400, but I can't do that. What do you do? So I don't know how it reads on this versus like a track block, but swimmers are obviously a lot slower than track athletes when it comes to starts. But I think like Caleb has one of the best starts in the world, and he's like 0.5.
Wow.
And I think that's just the difference of like track athletes versus swimmers is that track is just like so much power, so much speed, so much more strength. So I think for you, you're gonna have no problem getting off the block. It's your entry.
It's everything
Because
else.
because it's like you've never done it before. So I think for you, focus on really getting into a streamline in the air. And I know you don't have much time to think about it, but if you like blast off that blocks, and the first thing that you should do is take your hands, so you throw back your hands, and then you immediately get into a streamline.
So how do you teach a beginner? Do you teach them in steps, or you just set them up?
Yeah,
and
no,
say, "Go
we
try
teach
it"?
them in steps. So one of the first things that we'll do as a beginner is I'll have them, well, first you need to figure out which foot is your front foot, which for both of us is
Swimming is
left,
left.
which is convenient. Then I'll have them start literally like on their knees and just plopping it. And then I'll have them put their foot, and then they'll plop it. And then eventually, once they've gotten the feeling of the entry, then you get to go on the floor. And then you get to figure out what setting you're in. Actually, I want you to get up, and I want you to see how it feels.
In track, I would probably be like that. So, this is bad.
Oh, I forgot to say, wrap those toes over
This is a
the edge.
bad situation.
Should we move that fin back? Do you think?
That shin being 90.
Yeah.
That back shin should be 90.
Yeah, we
And
need
it's
to
like
move this
45.
back.
Oh my god.
Would you like to move this back?
You're a lot longer.
So maybe put her at a 4.
Try a 4.
We'll try a 4. So it's like, it all depends, like swimmers are way different starts than track. More so, I'm realizing now than I ever have.
But it's
But we'll
actually
try
the
4.
same range. It's the same, like, firing pattern
Yeah.
and the same objective. Although it's very different. Are
Hey.
the last ones.
He's going to set up the...
Oh, my anxiety! My anxiety!
Oh, I love this. So yeah, it's like head down so that you're not going into the water chest
You know you're
first. Oh, I'm totally gonna do it. And then you're gonna do one right after. But yeah, it's like it's a quick throw back into a streamline. Yeah. And then you just
Is that it?
you
It's
just
gonna be like,
dance your way in. It's gonna, wow. Yep.
it's on the same walkie-talkie.
All right. Now, literally, you are in the perfect position. Whenever the beep goes off, first thing you do, throw your arms back like that. Throw your arms back at the same time you push off of this back foot. The last thing that leaves the block is front foot, just like track. Dad, should we give her a start? She's ready. I'm not kidding, this was you. Did that hurt?
In the end, although I learned that I prefer to keep both feet on dry land, all the same skills required for my start on the track, I was able to use for my start into the pool.
Oh God, I'm glad we got that out of the way. You'd be surprised at how many athletes don't even get this part right. So,
All right.
gotta be straight.
Looks good to me.
It is good. I'm OCD a little bit, so I'm gonna just.
So before your race, do you get to like
Yeah.
set it up like you want?
So for you, because we're just getting started,
Uh-huh.
I say walk 1, and then 1, 2. So come here,
Okay.
and your left is forward, like we
Yep.
talked about.
Yep.
You do 1 foot from the line, from the center line.
Oh, from the line.
Heel here. Yep. And I'm gonna move this up right there, and now set your other heel over here. And that will be about 2 shoes. And we'll go here, and we'll lower this down. So yeah, you can adjust back and forth, and then up and down.
Oh.
And then once you got that, you're gonna step on them.
Yeah, okay, so how does this stay in place?
There's spikes here on the bottom.
Oh.
And that's why you're gonna jump and kind of step on them. All right, and then we just do a little, make sure everything is okay. Now, like we talked about at the pool, you got this here, and some athletes do have their foot up here, but you don't have to. You can have your foot like that.
Yeah.
Then you come down. Yeah. And then your hands have to be behind the line.
Oh, always behind the line.
Mm-hmm. And then set, we're a little bit crowded, but you know.
Yeah.
Set, your butt comes up, you lean forward, the shoulders are over the line. And then same thing, arms go back. Push off the back leg. Ooh. Yep. There you go.
Unnatural.
I was crowded. You're gonna necessary.
So crowded, you were saying, is just because we were too close to the line.
Exactly. So I think, come measure, like, let's do 2.
All right.
'Cause I think 1 was just too. 1, go ahead. 2. The second one's over here. Right in front of each other.
Oh.
Yep. Okay. And then 1 from here. Heel here. And we'll try it. Okay, now it's your turn to get in. And we'll tweak.
All right.
Okay.
I was lower at that.
Let me adjust this back.
I told you were in for a... Okay, wait, one of my questions, though. How come you were saying that some people don't put their front foot in the... What would I call this? Block?
The pedal.
The pedal. Why? How come some people do this?
It just
Some people
depends
do
on
this.
the way people push. So some people push like with the toe on the ground and from the ball, and other people are strong enough to not have their toe on the ground at all and just like
And
that.
those are the people that use this
Yeah, it's really
pedal.
just a preference.
Yeah, I'm not that person.
You
But I
start
do
with
wanna
your-
try
You
it.
want to try it up there? All right, cool.
Oh, I don't know about that. This feels better.
No, you gotta use both pedals.
Oh, I do?
It's not optional.
Is that a rule?
Yeah.
I'll talk to somebody about that.
No, yeah, there you go.
Ooh,
That's not bad, set position.
my back leg is burning.
Yeah, it takes some strength.
Yeah.
And now when you're ready to leave, again, just push off that back leg and move forward. Don't go too hard though. See if you see it out. Okay.
And I throw my arms back?
That's like the first movement, but to catch yourself, that right arm has to come up eventually.
One arm comes up, the
Yeah.
other one goes back.
Okay.
just- you
It'll
just-
happen naturally.
It'll
happen
happen naturally. It's just like running.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to just. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Is that good?
That's good.
USA track and field.
Relay.
Oh, you don't want me on a relay. I will hold you back.
Okay.
So I have a feeling that I, like, literally did this.
Okay. Yes.
And that's bad.
Right. So wait. A good starter is shooting horizontally down the track, because if you come up, your time is ticking,
Right.
and you're not progressing down the track. So ideally, you want to have your head down, like we discussed. Same tennis ball cue would work. You come to set, and then you go forward.
Easy.
I'm not saying
I'm gonna be running. Did I do it? All right.
See, already you're better because you didn't trip over the pedal.
I know. It was a low bar. I could only go up. And so it goes, take your mark,
So runners take your mark is what you just did. You were like in your blocks, and then you rest here.
I'm resting.
So it says set, and then you raise your hip. Yep. Then go. Not bad. Not bad, Elizabeth. For a sea creature.
It's hard to stay low.
Right.
Because, like, I just want to, like, I don't know if we
You
do
have
that
to
in
do
swimming, but we have gravity working with us. Like, we're diving down.
And gravity's not your friend here. Exactly. We kind of use it to a certain point to get that lean and that acceleration angle, but then all of your core, your quads, everything has to fight that, resist it by staying low and cutting through it. So it still requires core engagement and quad engagement, but for a different direction. But that was really good though. So I've never done it before.
Coach Tianna told me I was good, so
Yeah.
see me on the track.
2028.
My training starts now.
10,000 hours.
That's when I get to be an expert, right? 10,000 hours?
10,000 hours. 10,000 hours is a lot.
No, plenty of time. LA.